We're going to get started just so we can move on in. So today's class is about motivating, educating, inspiring. So I talk to a lot of agents every day, and I'm hearing a lot of agents being uninspired right now because of the high interest rate. So I thought to myself, well, what can I do to give back to the communities and help our industry? Because I really believe in our industry. And so I thought, well, you know what? Let's do a series. And Vicki and I got together and says, let's work together and do this series. And let's provide some new tools and hopefully bring more value to you and your marketing so you can grow your business and be more efficient.
Cool.
So we're going to go ahead and hop right in. So I'm a Brian Buffini follower. I'm a Tommy Hopkins follower. I think filling yourself with good information is really important. But what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about how to renew your thinking, reinvent the way you attract, convert, and service your clients. On week 2, which is next week, we are going to be talking about divorce real estate. Believe it or not, this is a niche market that never has downtime. Unfortunately, it is something that happens every day. I have been trained by some very high-level lawyers. I am a CE certified loan officer. And so I used to teach this in CE classes. So I took the content from a CE class and I tried to bring it down a little bit more to bring it into an hour time frame, but it's good information. And then credit in the credit score. You don't need to be a credit bureau specialist, but when you hear the words from people, your job is to inspire them. The fact of the matter is that buyers will, go towards a real estate agent. They don't look for us loan officers. They always migrate to the real estate agent. You guys are the dream makers. We are the reality, right? So they start with you because they want to dream about opening their own home, and then you guide them into the reality. And you are the coach. You're the one who are navigating them through that home buying journey. So we're going to teach you some things about credit and the credit score in week 4 or in week 3. And then week 4, one of our biggest challenges for our first-time home buyers is their cash to close. So we're going to talk about down payment assistance, what programs are working, which programs are not working, what happens, and all that good stuff. And then I figured, you know what? A lot of my agents asked me for training about lending, so I wrote a class on lending. So all of these, I invested a lot of time into all of this information to help educate and teach so you can be a better real estate agent out there to your clients. But I've been in the financial industry. I stopped counting at 40 years. Okay. So I don't count anymore after 40. But I've got over 20 years as a loan officer, a full-time loan officer, and I have a 32-year career with Bank of America. And with Bank of America, I was a vice president. I ran banking centers. I trained employees to create careers. I learned at very high levels about marketing. So I took all of those skill sets and I brought them into my loan business. And when I retired from the bank, that's when I opened up Strategy for Success Now. I actually had 7 years on the books as a loan officer with Bank of America. And then when Bank of America purchased Countrywide, I didn't see that big ship sailing very gracefully. So I went ahead and retired after 32 years. And then I went into the retail side. And I love what I do. I believe in home ownership. I think it's the best gift we can give a family. If there is a way, if they want to buy a home and there's a way to make it happen, we need to help them do that because it's so powerful of what they will gain from that home ownership. I earn my living like you do, and that's with closed escrows. I'm currently with a company called Altitude Home Loans. I was with AmeriFirst Financial previously. Unfortunately, AmeriFirst Financial closed their doors in June, so we joined Altitude Home Loans, my team and I. And they're a small company down there in Tucson. We're bringing them up here to the Phoenix metropolitan area. They are a lean operating company, so their pricing is highly competitive. And I have direct access to underwriters. We are a mortgage banking company with the ability to broker. So we're an all-in-one shop kind of place. So cool. Give us a tryout, okay?
And also, just kind of a quick testimony. We also work with Karen Jones here in the office. Sue does. So Kip does use Sue as his escrow officer.
She's fantastic.
She is fantastic. Yeah. And so is Karen. And Karen has a right-hand person. Her name is Ginger, who I had the privilege to meet. And Ginger is just as lovely as Karen. When I talk about I don't work with a lot of loan officers just because, you know, there's some squirrely ones and there's some really good ones. And I put Karen probably in my top two, definitely.
Oh, thank you.
Just because of
That
how,
makes my heart.
yeah. Well, it's true. And I will tell you, she works extremely well with Sue, and Kip works really well with Sue, and it's just kumbaya. And I know that, you know, if you have a chance to utilize Karen in any ways, I would suggest that you do that, and then always tap into her, especially when it comes to your first time home buyers. And then of course, just learning more about different programs, because that's what I'm finding most agents don't know is what they don't know is who to reach out to. So now you just have somebody else in your back pocket, Kip.
Yeah, beautiful.
Very
Thanks
cool.
for giving so many tools, Vicky. You're the best.
I try. I got a guy, or I got a gal.
She's the go-to gal.
I am. I'm a connector. By trade, I'm a connector. I mean, that's what I love to do.
So I'm going to share this little quick snippet from a TED Talk. And have you ever heard it before from Simon Sinek?
I don't know specifically which one this is, but I love Simon Sinek. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So yeah, he's really great. And the reason why I share this, he made it back in 2009. I learned it in 2010, or I saw it in 2010. And so I cut it down to only a 5-minute snippet. And I think it's well worth our 5 minutes in our presentation today. What is your why? What motivates you in your real estate career? And how do you communicate with your prospects? These are important questions that you need to ask yourself. So we're going to go ahead and just watch this video, listen to it. So
I can hear it. I can hear it.
Oh, you can hear it?
Better. How do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access to the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery. And this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operated it. And as it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way. And it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, when you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean, what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders, the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. So let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done. That's how most sales is done. And that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do. We say how we're different or how we're better. And we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products. And nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion. It's all grounded in the tenets of biology, not psychology, biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain looking from the top down, what you see is the human brain is actually broken into three major components that correlate perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex, corresponds with the one level. The neocortex is responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle two sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision-making, and it has no capacity for language. In other words, when we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. You know, sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and figures, and you say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right, because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right.
So if you've seen that before, I think watching a refresher is always a good thing.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, people do buy emotionally and they justify logically. In fact, Brian Buffini, Zig Ziglar, all of the best, they tell us facts tell and stories sell. So, you know, we need to be our authentic selves. We have to communicate in a straightforward way, but we also need to let our clients and our prospects understand that we're in for it more than just a job. It's not just a job to us. We really do believe in what we're doing. So how you communicate matters. And I think that was just well worth the 5 minutes that I kind of cut it back quite a bit, but I think it was worth it. So, you know, prospects and clients will always wonder, can I trust you? Are you good at what you do? And do you care about me, or are you just after a paycheck? That does happen. Have you ever worked with a salesperson that you kind of knew that it wasn't in it for you? They were just after the paycheck. So our industry helps consumers get their American dream. In fact, 94% of Americans say that owning their own home is a part of their American dream. And our industry helps that happen. Our industry keeps communities strong. Communities that are full of rental properties don't tend to thrive as well as communities that have a mixture of rental properties and owner-occupied properties. Our industry is one of the main drivers in the overall U.S. economy. When the real estate industry is down, does it affect other parts of the world and other parts of our economy? I believe it does. And then, so, you know, what are you doing to inspire your community, your sphere, your prospects, your clients? You know, how are you growing your business? Where is your business coming from? Most of the agents that I've coached over the last 13 years, since my little small company has been around, I've asked that question, where are you getting your business from?
Well, some have been from my own sphere of influence, but the majority was from Zillow leads.
Okay.
Were provided by my broker. That has completely changed also. So they used to base it on performance metrics, including, you know, answering the phone, showing homes, and closing deals.
Okay.
And then they realized they could make a lot of money with Zillow home loans, and the fees they charge, my broker and I believe are unethical and inappropriate, and we're not referring people to Zillow Home Loans. So those leads have dried up. We're looking at some other lead sources, but yeah, that's majority of what they've come from.
When I coach people, they tell me, at least over the last 13 years, they say it's the referrals. The referrals is their number one source. And what I'm hearing from my agents today is that their referrals are not coming in anymore because most of their referral people are sitting on the fence. So I believe it's what we need to do is to educate our referral sources, our past clients, that if they do know of someone who is sitting on the fence, we need to educate them better on what their home buying opportunities are, because I believe there's a small window of opportunity right now. Okay. So, make referrals easy for you. Have you ever had somebody tell you, gosh, I just referred my cousin to you? Did they ever call you?
They did not.
Right. They didn't. Right. So I believe that we need to take advantage of taking control of our referrals. So I use something called, and by the way, everything that I coach to, I do myself. So this has been proven by my own results, as well as the agents that I've coached over the years. But everything that I do myself as a professional loan officer works because we are in the same industry. I use something called the Savvy Card, and I'm going to bring up the Savvy Card real quick so you can take a peek at it. A Savvy Card is a digital business card, and I know there are lots of digital business cards out there, and that's great. Choose one that has the special secret sauce that I'll be telling you in a second. But the Savvy Card, this is a fee-generated service. There are digital business cards out there that have zero fees attached to it, but I choose this one for a very special reason. But before I do that, let me show you around it. It has email access. It has your phone number access. It has your text service. This is all basic stuff, right? It has your About Me, where you can put videos on there. Videos are very powerful. It has your address, so people can find your address. It has, what I really like is your sites, and it has all these places where you can put all of your different tools that are going to help your home buyers, educate your home buyers. And then it also has stuff to keep you all compliant, all your compliance stuff. And it also has your social media. So it has everything in one particular place. But what it really has that I love is the share capability. And the share capability, you can share to an individual. If you're on a chat, you can share it via social media. But let me show you what it does. What I do with each and every one of my clients is I have them download this phone to their card, and then I go through it just like I went through it with you, and I teach them how to share the card, because I don't want this happening to me. I don't want the lead to be lost in the air. I don't want to have to rely on that cousin to make that phone call to me. And I know my client who referred me is not going to call me. So I want to take control of my referral sources. Once someone shares that card, what happens is that I get an email from the Savvy Card. So I get an email from the Savvy Card letting me know that my card was shared. And now I get to go ahead and reach out and make that phone call and say, hey, Karen Jones just introduced me to you. And I understand you're looking to explore home ownership, and I'm here to help. And then you start developing the relationship. So, I think it's a great touch point for clients today, for your sphere that you have today, for your past clients that you have today, is to reach out to them, get them on your digital business card of your choosing. Just make sure that it has the capability of emailing you whenever they do get that card referred out. To me, that's the secret sauce that you have to look for. And the Savvy Card, you might have a better one out there. I have chosen the Savvy Card because I've been using it for 13 years now, and I know it backwards and forwards. Okay. But
you've been using it that long?
I'm sorry?
You've been using it that long?
Yes, I have.
What's the cost for that? Do you remember offhand?
I think it's $150 to get it up and running, and then $10 a month. Okay. So what a great touch point, though, to reach out to your past clients and say, hey, I've got a new digital business card. I want to share it with you. Is it okay that I if you take some time to let me text it over to you, and you text it over to them, and then they're going to go ahead and you're going to help download it to their phone. And once they download it to the phone, you're going to show them around, and then you're going to tell them all you got to do next time is hit that little share button, put in your person's name, their phone number, and I'll take excellent care of your client. And then, of course, I really believe that when you do get a referral, you got to thank old school, okay? You got to send a thank you card. And I don't know if your industry is mandated as my industry is. I am not allowed to send out anything of value, but I can make that personal phone call of gratitude, and I can go and also send out a thank you card, and I'm all with compliance with all the RESPA laws that we have to follow. So to me, it makes a huge difference. People like to get that thank you. So use the old school strategy on that.
Yeah.
So you talked about Zillow.com, Realtor.com. They're all sales funnels. Okay. Now, Zillow's sales funnel is as people are looking at free information, if they want to save any of that information, they got to do what? They got to set up an account, right? So that's a sales funnel. So you can create sales funnels for yourself. Sales funnel is the process of a lead going from a lead to a customer using what's called a lead magnet. It's made up of 3 stages: awareness, consideration, and conversion. Like I said, Realtor.com's, the Zillows of the world, theirs is being able to save information. I believe in something called value marketing, because what I don't like about Zillow's follow-up, they're just emailing more homes to them, which to me is salesy. And the fact of the matter is, the average consumer these days do not want to be sold. They want to be educated. So I've got the heart of an educator. I'm going to teach them about the home buying process and educate them, so when they are ready, we can get them prepared for success. And more importantly, it allows me to create a relationship, because I understand that this is a relationship industry. So follow up with value marketing emails and face-to-face interactions, even if it's on video conferencing, that's face-to-face. Live conversations make a huge difference. I have a story. I just made a phone call today. I was sharing with Vicki before we started, and just to show you that I practice what I preach. I'm on the phone every single day, and on every birthday, I make an attempt to call my client, and if I can't reach them, I send them a video text message, wishing them a happy birthday, and then I always remind them that I'm still in the business of helping people buy homes. If they know of anyone, to send them my way, I'll take great care of them, okay? And so I called this gentleman today. He picked up the phone, which is very unusual. That usually doesn't happen. But he picked up the phone. I said, hey, I just wanted to call and wish you a happy birthday today. And I go, I know a few years ago, I have in my notes, because I use CRMs where I have notes on everyone, that you were thinking about buying a house. And I know things got a little crazy in 2020 because there was bidding wars and all that craziness. I go, did you ever buy a house yet? No, I haven't. In fact, I'm going to start now. And I go, well, tell you what, let's set up an appointment so we can get your loan started, get you all through the buyer credit approval process, and get you prepared for success. So I've got an appointment to go ahead and get him started. So these little tidbits of these live conversations do make a difference, because he remembered me from all my previous phone calls. So it does make a difference when you have a relationship. So in the lead magnet, I've made one. This is called Steps to Success, Your Home Ownership Journey. This is a free download for an ebook. And just to, it's called a lead magnet. And this is something that I have. I use both lead magnets, and I also use value marketing, because I blend the two of them together. Lead magnets are on my website, all over my website. So when people find me, they can get this. Sometimes I'll promote it on Facebook ads, and I'll try and get more leads that way. But when they go ahead and do download it, I got this ebook that they're going to download. And then once they download it, then I'm going to start that relationship process, because right now they're just a lead. They're just a person who wanted information. The consideration stage is when the contact provides their information. The conversion stage is when you connect with them and you change them from a lead into a prospect. So it is a relationship industry. So the 5-step engagement is you create your landing page that will promote your lead magnet. Once they initiate it, you're going to capture their information. They're going to download it. Then you're going to get connection with that person so you can start building that relationship. And then have the heart of that educator. And you want to educate them on the home buying or home selling process. Kip, has anyone ever told you, gosh, you know what? I was just looking. I really want to buy a home, but I'm not going to buy it probably for another 6 months or so.
Really? Tell me why. Why
Well,
would you wait?
Yeah, well, I just don't want to do it right now. I don't have the money saved up.
I understand. That can be that's a big concern for a lot of new home buyers.
Yeah.
Would you be open to discussing some different options that might be useful?
Very good, Kip. Very good, Kip.
I love that you're going this direction, Karen, because I've come to realize that educating, especially first-time home buyers, is
huge.
One of my favorite things, because I relate it, and I tell my own story that I didn't know what I was doing when I bought my first home. Even the second home that we bought here in Arizona, I went back and I looked through my inspection report, things like that, and I'm like, I can't believe that. I would have done things a little differently. And I like telling them, I said, home buying isn't difficult, but it's a lot of details. And I want to be the one that helps you understand all those details and help manage those so that, you don't have to have the anxiety of trying to keep track of all of that.
Right. I use the same thing. You just don't buy a house every day. So let's go over everything. So to make sure you understand what decisions you're making so you can make informed decisions.
Yes.
So when you go through all your objection stuff, great questions, by the way, loved it. Because you got you got interacting, and that's what we got to do with these online leads. We got to get them interacting. So they're pretty adamant and they don't want to do anything, right? So that's when I say, you know what? I've got the heart of an educator. Let me send you some newsletters so I can teach you how to buy a house. I'm not just about here's a house to buy, here's a house to buy, here's a house to buy. I'm here about these are the things that you need to be aware of. These are the things that you want to know about. These are the things that home buying you're going to need for home buying. I want to educate you on that process. And when I was studying this stuff, I studied online marketing from very, very high level online marketers. And they shared with me that it takes 12 opens of your emails to have that client consider you as a respected resource of actually moving forward with you when you're ready to make that action and make that buy. So if you get 12 reads from them, that means that you are sending some really quality content over to them that's going to help them remember you. And so when you make those phone calls, then that's how you build a relationship. When it does come time to buy, today, I've got a client out there looking for a house. 2 years ago, she went on my newsletter because she wasn't ready. She was an action plan client. So I gave her a plan of action of what to do. It's what I call my incubator service. And what we got her all ready. And every quarter I'd call her, hey, I just wanted to check in. How's your action plan coming along? I just want to let you know what's happening with rates right now. And if you have any questions, use me as a resource. I'm here for you. Well, they're out now looking for their home. They're ready. They called me. They says, all right, we're ready to buy. So that the value marketing that I teach really does work. It's not just about what homes are for sale, which is what most agents do. Add them to your newsletter. And when we talk about these value marketing campaigns, you never use the word campaign with your client. Never. Because they know campaign is a sales process. You want to use the term newsletter. So whenever you talk about anything that you do with clients, it's always, I've got a newsletter to educate you on the home buying or the home selling process. And then, of course, every newsletter that I do send out within my campaigns has a very subtle call to action. We want to professionally nudge folks into making decisions of moving forward, because you and I understand that this is a smart move for them. If they're able to qualify for a home and they've got the desire to do so, they really need to take action. So a best practice for you, always ask permission before adding anybody to your newsletter. To me, it's just respectful, okay? And I feel that being a respectful professional pays off in the long run. If someone doesn't want to hear from me, I don't want to aggravate them and putting them on my newsletter. And once you do ask permission, that does gain trust. That's your first step towards gaining trust. But people want to do business with whom they know, like, and trust.
Yep.
Oh, and I just jumped on Savvy Card real quick, and it looks like they do have Savvy Card for real estate agents. Take your leads back from your portal. So I thought that was kind of cool. So Kip, you may want to check that out.
Yeah, I never really explored the real estate side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that they have some unique things on it, but I
Yeah.
don't know what the fee structure is, and I don't think they
No,
have
I don't
anything
either.
on
But
that.
while you guys were chatting, I was like, oh, I'm
Yep.
just going to scope it out. And I was like, oh, they have one just
Yeah,
specifically
they do.
for
They
real
have one
estate agents.
specifically for real estate.
Yeah. So good
Great.
tidbit.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
So real estate is, emails alone are not going to build a relationship. So that's why we want to use our CRM. Every day I've got a list of phone calls that I got to do every day from my CRM because I got them all managed in there of when to call. So I never have to second guess what I have to do. I know exactly what I need to do. So, those phone calls make a huge difference. Stories sell. So in your email campaigns that you do create, I suggest that you have some video content. So, why do you do what you do? You want your clients to hear from you, and video is very successful in helping us do that. In-person meetings for realtors, again, consumers migrate to real estate professionals. And I love the fact that the agents that I coach try and get the person in their office for an initial meeting, just to like a meet and greet type of meeting, because that is the number one way to build a relationship is face-to-face. And that does include video conferencing, but face-to-face is the absolute number one. The second way to build relationships are phone calls, live conversations, not voicemails, live conversations. And then, of course, video is a very powerful tool as well. And, if they're not ready to take action, still ask permission to add them into their newsletter and just let them know, I'm going to send you some really good content to help show you what's happening in our industries, because these industry updates that are available everywhere are really good to get. And then maybe invite them to follow you on social media so you can create your following. And then, of course, get that digital business card on their phone and teach them how to use it. So Nora Gura from the National Affordable Lending, she's a National Affordable Lending Manager from Freddie Mac. She presented at our CE class today. I got to take CE classes just like you do. And she talked all about the millennials. And I figured this would be a good piece to talk about, just to inspire that these millennials need our help desperately, okay? These guys are the largest generation now. They've overwhelmed baby boomers. They're the most educated. They're the most tech savvy, but they are challenged in the home buying journey. The biggest challenge is that they don't have money. Okay. And that's why that down payment assistance course is going to be viably important for you. So the next time someone says, I don't have the money, you can say, you know what? I've got some resources for you to explore. Okay. Their knowledge is low. And this is a quote from Nora. Their knowledge is low concerning housing financial literacy. And that's because they're seeking advice from the elders of their family. And their elders or their family still believe in the old 20% rule, right?
Yeah.
So a lot
Old
of our
school.
millennials think that they need 20% down to buy a house, and that's just not the case. You and I know that, but the average consumer who wants to buy a house in those age groups, about 20 to 40, do not know that. So they search on the internet to get information, but they're not going to pay for it by giving an email address, or they're going to pay for it with a bogus email address, or they're going to give a bogus phone number because they don't want to be sold. They just don't want to be sold. They want to be educated. And most of the articles out there on the internet are asking for email addresses. So that's telling us that email is alive and well when it's done properly. There's a wrong way of doing it, and there's a right way of doing it. And we also know society as a whole will search for just about anything on the internet. Everything is questioned, though. I love the fact when these millennials are reaching out to me because they were referred to me by an agent, and they check out my brand online. And if you Google Karen Jones Loans, I should come to the first page of Google. And as they're checking out my website, they're telling me, Karen, you've got a lot of good content, because I give a lot of free information, a lot of value marketing. So that is building trust before I even get to meet them. And of course, video is all over it, because video is very powerful, right? Yeah. So millennials felt that Great Recession of 2008. They felt what their families and friends went through. A lot of their family and friends lost their homes in foreclosure or in short sales. They felt it, and they are very adverse to a foreclosure. Foreclosures threatens them. These guys were graduating college at the time, and they had a very difficult time in finding jobs as well. And then to go ahead and top off even more concerns and challenges for our millennial home buyers, we get inflation taking control. You know, the home shortage caused home prices to increase. And then when interest rates went up even further, they got a double whammy against them.
Yeah.
So we just have to educate them that you marry the house, you date the interest rate. So we have to really educate them on how to use their knowledge effectively so they can make some really good decisions. So, you know, student loans, 33% of millennials have student loan debt of around $34,000 per Nora. And I'm so glad that the FHA, VA, conventional, USDA all have changed their underwriting guidelines for student loan debt to make it a little bit easier. But, you know, these guys they are going to be the home buyers in the decades to come. They need a place to live. They're starting families. More than half of the millennials are in their mid-20s and many in their early 40s. And they, like I said earlier, they have surpassed baby boomers. Now, the Hispanic market is also very strong. And this little video comes to us from Magic. It's a PMI company. But 7.9 million Hispanics are under the age of 45, which means they're a millennial. But this is just so cute. It's only 38 seconds long. I just have to show it to you. It's a cute little video, isn't it? But
Yeah, that's a
is,
surprising statistic that many are mortgage ready,
yeah.
and that 50% in the next 2 years are going to be 50% of new home buyers are going to be Hispanic.
Yes.
That's pretty amazing.
Yes. So DACA lending is back for
the dreamers.
Yes, exactly right. So the Dreamers loan is back, and it comes and goes. Right now it's here. So a lot of our Hispanics don't know it's back. And viral marketing builds trust, allows us to get bookmarked. I believe that you need to have free information as well as your lead magnets. You got to blend the two of them together. And then, you know, you can do ebooks, online webinars like we're doing today. You can do in-person non-solicitation education seminars. So HR people love to be able to provide value to their employees because the number one expense for an HR division is the turnover. They want to reduce
churn.
Exactly right. If you do have a smaller company where you know the HR person, see if you can offer a free non-solicitation. That's the magic secret sauce there. Non-solicitation education seminar to teach them about home ownership. And I would leave my marketing materials, and I usually got at least 3 clients from every class. And it usually had between 10 to 20 people in the class. And then, of course, video marketing, a vlog might be another thing that you can consider doing. And that way you can upload it to YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine out there. Funny story about YouTube. My daughter, when she made her first turkey dinner, she didn't call mama to find out the recipe. She went to YouTube. And I had to tell her turkey was much better than my first turkey. But everybody is all over YouTube, and everybody at all ages. So if you're not on YouTube, you need to be on YouTube. You need to be providing some funny content about, you know, home buying, you know, things that are funny. You have to provide educational stuff, stats, just provide stuff on YouTube because YouTube is the second largest search engine.
Well, and our kids nowadays, they find everything on YouTube.
Everything's on YouTube. Totally get it.
Yeah, they don't need encyclopedias or anything.
Exactly right.
On YouTube.
If I had more time, I'd tell you a funny story about encyclopedias, but I'm almost out of time. And
I just had a funny story too that I thought about with those.
Do you mind if we go over a little bit?
I don't mind. I've got time.
All right. So what's your funny story? And then I'll tell mine.
Well, I moved to San Diego right out of high school in 1985. Do you remember the 1900s? I do.
I remember 85.
We had one of those Encyclopedia Britannica salespeople come to the door, door-to-door encyclopedia sales. And I was fascinated with those. I ended up spending money that to get the whole set that had gilded edges on the page.
Oh my God.
And leather bound. They were gorgeous, beautiful. I love them, love them. I loved them. And then I'd get updates once a year, as information changed. And it's so funny to think about that now because it took up a lot of space. And now I can do all of that like from my wrist,
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
well, my story is very, very familiar to yours because I was in the same place and I had someone come to our door. My husband and I had just gotten married. We had no furniture in the home, and our kitchen table was a square box. We had 2 chairs in a square box, and we had an encyclopedia guy come to us and sell us, and we friggin' bought the things. We didn't even have a table, and he sold us on the fact that your future kids need to have this information. So
I had a roommate that sat. I had friends that would come over and just sit down on the floor and just grab a volume and just start flipping through pages and just get fascinated. I remember spending hours just reading about light.
Yeah,
light refraction and I mean just all kinds. It's interesting. Well, I love that kind of stuff. The trivia.
Our stories were very much the same. That's funny. So millennials have the numbers, right? But baby boomers have the wealth. These guys have equity in their homes galore. They most likely have more than one home. So why don't help them capture their profits and invest things on a passive income? Now, lots of times when I call my agents and say, hey, you have any new clients that I can help out? Oh, Karen, I only have one client right now, and they're selling their house and they're going to pay for their new home in cash. And I'm like, okay, that's one way of going about it. And I says, well, to be an advisor for your clients and not just an order taker, maybe consider this and just have them think about it and have them check it out with their financial planners and, and their CPAs. But if they, because most of the time their number one reason of buying a home in cash is that they don't want a mortgage. Would you agree with that? Yes. So what you can do is use the reverse mortgage home buying strategy where they put it down 50% and they get to take that other 50% and invest it in maybe an annuity or something, a tax-free annuity or something of that nature, so they can create passive income. So then I usually get the objection, oh no, well, they want to give the home to their kids. And I go, that's totally great. That means that their income is okay as a retiree. And I totally get the legacy situation. I totally get that. You want to leave your kids something. However, did you know the IRS is after the baby boomers' income? They know exactly how much they saved up in their 401k plans and all that stuff. The laws are changing and the IRS is going after baby boomer income for taxes. So to protect some of that income that they work so hard for their whole entire life, perhaps they should take out a small mortgage and then go ahead and put that money into a tax-free type of vehicle to gain tax-free income. And that way they'll be able to deduct the interest from that mortgage if they do itemize. Of course, have your clients check with their financial planner and their CPA, but definitely have them explore that. So be an advisor to your clients and not just an order taker. That's my session for this today. These guys, there are programs out there for reverse mortgages to buy a home. Most people use a reverse mortgage just on the refinance category. It's very effective on the purchase side as well.
Cool.
Okay. So provide ideas to help in retirement. Because I have to tell you, I've been to a couple of IRS classes, and the IRS is after baby boomers' income because they're the ones who have the money. That's where they want to get the increased tax payments from. Life events. So some ideas for you to consider is folks that are getting married, engaged folks, just married folks. What are these guys really wanting to do? They all want to buy their own marital home together. And sometimes they might already own a home. So maybe they want to make their home a rental property, or maybe they want to sell it and buy their new home together. Educate them to find out what's their best strategy, have them crunch the numbers, because numbers help make decisions. Be sure you're working with a loan officer that will do that number crunching for them so they can make informed decisions. And then, is it best to purchase that home prior to the marriage or after the marriage? If one person has a bankruptcy or something, can that cause a challenge? So you want to explore things if they are just engaged before they get married, just to kind of check it out. So who would you market to on this? Well, you can probably talk to wedding planners and basically network with some wedding planners, maybe florists, maybe photographers. All the different people in the marriage industry, in the wedding industry, create contents. And I usually recommend at least 3 of them, so you have people to have more than one choice. It just kind of protects you. But get these contexts and be the go-to person, like Vicki is for you. Be the go-to person for the average consumer for everything else. And then, of course, divorce real estate. We have a whole class. Our next class is all about divorce real estate. It's happening every day. And the fact of the matter is, silver splitters are divorces above 50 years of age. They are happening more and more often as well. So we are going to learn a whole lot more about divorce real estate in our next class. And then something is called pay it forward marketing. So a quick story is that I was on this webinar just the other day, and I follow Barry Habib of MBS Highway. He's like an economist in the mortgage industry and knows exactly what's happening in the real estate industry. You should follow me. There's a lot of great information that I put on social media that you're more than welcome to share. Okay. Home Loans by Karen Jones. But anyways, he had a guest speaker by the name of Jay Abraham on the presentation. Jay was listed as by Forbes, listed as one of the most top 5 executive coaches in the United States in the year 2000. Okay, so he knows his stuff. Well, he starts talking about pay it forward, and I go, wait a minute. I got validated because I created Pay It Forward 13 years ago. Now, granted, he created it first, but I created my version of it without ever talking to Jay. I didn't know who Jay was. I didn't get the idea from Jay. It came up from Karen Jones's head, which was kind of exciting. So Pay It Forward to me means in your farm community. And if you don't have a farm community, you need to have a farm community of where you want to concentrate on your marketing. And in there, pay it forward blogs for your local businesses. If your local business, let them know about your pay it forward blog, by the way, so they know you're doing this on their behalf. Advertise with them on if they've got menus where you can advertise, or if they allow you to put out tent cards. You can have QR codes that go to a lead magnet. So you've got all these different strategies that you can use. If someone does buy a home from their particular lead, donate money to their local Boys and Girls Club or any other nonprofit in their name, because you can't give them money. That would be a violation of RESPA, but you can donate it to a community, right? So donate it to the community in the company name, and then advertise that everywhere. Have them advertise that everywhere. And then, network. Share your savvy card with as many people. Maybe gyms, put a little ad on there with a QR code going to a lead magnet at the gyms. Educational seminars. All these are ideas for what I call pay it forward marketing. And then, of course, that go-to person. You need to be the go-to person for anything home related. Plumbers, landscapers, painters, electricians, contractors, tree guys, pool service, solar, water, pest control, everything, just like Vicki is for you. And the reason for that is this is how you create those strong relationships. And when you're giving out that information, just to always keep the fact that, oh, by the way, I'm still helping families if you know of anyone who might need me.
And we can actually, I'm sorry, Karen, but we can actually help you with that. I think we may have talked about it, making kind of a concierge or a referral for all of your professional networks. If you know some people, I know some people, we can always create it specifically for you and brand it. So just another thought.
Cool.
Yeah. Then add them to your website and have them add you to their website. So it's going back and forth. And
Yeah.
then again, what about those other niche referrals that I told you about? Those are also networking opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the pay it forward that you mentioned.
Mhm.
I live in Ahwatukee, and one company that I see that does that a lot, because I see it on Ahwatukee 411 on Facebook, as well as in the Ahwatukee Foothills news that we get once a month, newspaper and stuff, is Zeke's Pizza.
Ah,
They support the local baseball teams and the Rotary Club and blah, blah, blah. And I see a lot of that back and forth with them.
yeah, yeah. It really does make a difference. And you only want to concentrate in your farm community. And you want everyone to know who you are.
Yeah.
And
everybody knows Kip and his little farming area over there.
Thanks to Vicky.
The final
Thanks
thing
to Vicky in my mouth.
Yeah.
The final thing I want to talk about is goals.
Art goals.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. I think that's so vitally important. And it sounds like to me you already have an accountability coach. It sounds like your partner is your accountability coach. But if you don't have one, you need to get one, because you need to, discipline and doing this stuff consistently is what is going to keep you successful in the industry. I've taught hundreds of agents over the years, and I follow up with them to see how they're doing. And so are you doing this? Oh no, I don't do that anymore. Well, what about this idea that you really liked? Are you doing that? No, I'm not. So whatever you do, choose, and hopefully some of the ideas that I shared with you today have piqued your interest. Whatever you do choose to use, just use it consistently, because consistency is the key to success.
Yeah.
So I am Karen Jones. I am a marketing coach for realtors. I am very proud of my little boutique marketing company. And I do provide one-on-one coaching to help you learn, create, and implement. And I also have, I am an effective accountability coach. And then, of course, I earn my living like you do with closed escrows. And RESPA, I am not required to require any business from you whatsoever. So my agents that go through coaching, I never require any business from you whatsoever, because that would be a violation of RESPA. What I do hope to do is to create a very strong relationship with you, because I believe that this is a relationship industry, and I want to align myself with people who have the same value systems that I have in serving clients. Yeah. And that's all my legal stuff that I have to put on there. So we were only 7 minutes past the hour. We did pretty good.
Yeah, no, we started out a little late, but that's okay. And we finished up a little late, but we are good.
So I'm going to ask a question, Kip, just so I can use you, if I have your permission to use you to pass out what you want to say. But give me your honest opinion. Do you feel that the information that was shared with you today was useful for your real estate business?
Yes. I've taken 3 pages of notes of ideas and jotted down names as I went that I'm like, ooh, there's some memory joggers and things. So yes. Very good. I do. And I love the idea of the savvy card. I had stopped by an open house one time when I was just coming home from the grocery store, and there was one nearby, and I just stopped, and I ended up spending an hour talking with the agents there because they were really interesting and fun. But one of them shared her business card with me by sending it to my phone. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Because I love my tech. And speaking of Simon Sinek, I'm a little bit of an Apple whore. If Apple makes it, I want it. I love my Apple stuff because, just like he said, it's beautifully designed, it's easy to use, and it's customer friendly or whatever. Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much for your words. I will use that to share it with other folks, saying this is not a waste of time, guys. This is good stuff. And then hopefully we will see you next Thursday for the divorce real estate session. It's on my calendar, and I'm really interested in that specifically because that's something I'd thought about, but I'm like, how do you get there? I guess talk to maybe some divorce attorneys. Anyway, what we're going to do is get you educated, and then if you want to learn the marketing side of it, do that one-on-one. So, cool. Well, perfect. Well, thank you. Cool. Thank you again, Vicki. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. I guess I could have done that some time ago. All right, Vicki, I don't know this very well. Stop sharing is not working.
There we go.
Got it.
Got it.
But
We
Vicki,
learn as
thank
we
you so much
go.
for bringing us together. I love doing the stuff that I do. This is the fun part of my job, and I so appreciate you taking the time to allow me to do it. And thank you for being a partner of mine.
Absolutely. All right, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye.
Have a good
See you
afternoon.
next week.
All right, bye-bye.
After every class,